Hello, I am Raven, you're watching RAVENCraft. Now, as you notice, the video is sped up, and that's because I am going to be doing post-commentary. This is a digging episode, so I'm going to try to make it a little more interesting and have a sped up video to watch, because it's not very interesting just digging around and I didn't actually record anything. So I guess the first place I'm going to start is Portal 2, because that's actually kind of what made me not do this for a while, and I've had something missing, and it's been Minecraft, and I've noticed that Minecraft has been missing from my recording schedule, because I tried to get Portal 2 to record, but the frame rate was just really horrible. And there are so many better ones on YouTube already that, wasn't worth it. I had the opportunity to be the first one, but, it was going to be crappy. So anyway, that's why I wasn't out for a while. Then after that, I went back, and my microphone that's been broken for a while, and it's really been irritating to actually use the microphone because it doesn't have any pads on it. It was snapped in half along the middle. I fixed that up, and I'm using that right now, and it's a really good headset, so I really felt like I needed to fix that up. So I did. That took a bit longer. They're not quite done. Still hurt a little bit. But oh well, what can you do? And back to Portal 2 is really interesting. While it was similar to Portal, it wasn't the same, which I like. It was almost a completely different game, except with the same mechanics as Portal. I guess this could turn into a review of Portal 2, which would be interesting. And if it was a review, I'd definitely give it, I don't know. I'm kind of a little biased because I really enjoyed Portal 1, but I don't know, I'd say give it a 9, 9.5, something around there. Definitely on the high end of a scale out of 10. And so I found it a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to be playing that again. And the later levels had a completely different atmosphere than the earlier levels, which was also very interesting. And then after that, they got similar atmosphere again. And if you were to play it, you'd know what I'm talking about. And I'm sure you've heard. And if it's a spoiler for you, I don't know where you've been, but the new characters that they've added in, all of them. I'm not going to say how many, but I'm just going to say all of them were amazing. I love the personality of all of them, and it made the game quite interesting. It definitely, and that's also played into a different atmosphere than Portal 1, is that they had voices in there aside from GLaDOS, which definitely made it a completely different atmosphere. And it wasn't bad, it was good. And also, along the completely different atmosphere, having a multiplayer option was really made it a completely different atmosphere. Instead of playing side by side with your friend and saying, hey, I can do this level faster, you got to work together and do stuff. And I'm sure there's going to be speed runs of Portal 2, and I'm going to be trying to run through it as fast as possible with my friends later on. But it really proved to be interesting. And the only problem that I found with the internet, because I have the PC version, as you could probably tell, because I use the PC for a lot of different things, but I have the PC version, and the only problem I had was with the internet. My internet's okay, but relying on other people's internet, and some people have microphones, some people don't. Sometimes you gotta switch back and forth through text. There was one person that, wouldn't even talk through text. He was just, he just used the built-in system that they had of I think it's you press F and you select an option and it'll tell where to walk, just look in that direction, consider doing something, place a portal here, stuff like that. And I found that fairly useful, and I think I used it a few times. The countdown was especially useful later on in the game, because at the beginning of the game I really didn't find any reason to be too coordinated. Well, you didn't need to be coordinated. It didn't require time. It was pretty, self-explanatory when to do something. So, I think they could have done a little better with that, or at least taken advantage of this of the system that they made. And here I found a cave, just running around the cave. I also didn't keep the sound because there were people talking in the background, and at each of the cuts there was they got cut off. So that just made it plain annoying. And anyway, back to Portal 2. I was talking about gameplay. It really interesting, and I really liked it. But I think they could have made it longer. It seemed to me that they were introducing something, every couple levels, which is good. But I felt that they only had one or two levels near the end to actually prove yourself and show that you had completely mastered all of the techniques that they had shown you. Now, if this is a spoiler, then I'm not sure where you've been, but the gels, the repulsion and propulsion gels, I was surprised with those. There weren't as many puzzles as I expected there to be. I thought there was going to be way more puzzles. And they didn't actually take the exact puzzles from the previews. Because and that made it interesting. They didn't take the exact puzzle. They had similar puzzles that were similar to the previews, but they weren't the exact same puzzle as on the preview, as to make it so it's not boring for people who just who are really into it and watch the previews. So it didn't ruin half the game for them, which I found really interesting and fun. And also figuring out everything was a big change from playing Portal 1 over and over and over again, and figuring new ways out and having to actually think about the gameplay instead of just running through it over and over like Portal. I definitely think Portal has replay value. Same thing with Portal 2, and I'm definitely going to play Portal 2 again. And Portal 2 is going to be one of those games that I play over and over and over again. But I felt it interesting that it was definitely longer. It was definitely stranger than Portal 1. And it was stranger in a couple different ways. One way I'm not going to say, and the other way was, that they just... It was different having voice acting, more interacting with a character. They didn't exactly just, it wasn't a voice that was almost half not connected. It was a voice that the voices interact. You have characters. It's, the personality spheres, which shouldn't be anything new to you. If you're interested in Portal and you looked at anything about Portal, there's personality spheres. They also have that on the cover. I'm pretty sure that there's new characters, new personality spheres and stuff. And, that's been hype for a long time. And it seems that the episode has ended, so I'm going to stop it here. But anyway, Portal 2, great game. I'd recommend getting it. Awesome.